The bravest person in Hollywood is whoever agreed to write this movie right after Spider-Man No Way Home. God damn it! Let's get into it. So the movie follows Peter Parker right after the events of No Way Home, where nobody remembers who he is anymore. He's living alone, trying to survive, and every single night, he puts on a suit because Spider-Man is all he has left. I actually like this opening because it finally feels like we're watching the Spider-Man I've wanted to see in the MCU. No billionaire mentor, no Avengers, no classmates following him around. Just Peter Parker and New York. This version feels older, more tired, and far more experienced than we've ever seen before. It almost feels like Marvel finally let Tom Holland become the classic Spider-Man. That loneliness hangs over almost every scene. Even when Spider-Man saves people, nobody knows who he really is. That emotional weight carries the first act really well. But then the movie starts introducing something strange. Peter's powers started to change. At first they're subtle, then they become impossible to ignore. His body starts evolving in ways even he doesn't understand. His aggression increases, his abilities become harder to control. Instead of simply fighting criminals, Peter is now fighting himself. I actually thought this was one of the strongest ideas in the entire movie, because after everything Peter has suffered, his own powers are beginning to reflect that trauma. It's almost like his body is breaking down because his mind never recovered from No Way Home. As Peter is dealing with all of this, New York starts experiencing bizarre attacks connected to the Department of Damage Control. Nobody understands who is responsible. Eventually, the mystery leads to the biggest surprise in the movie. Sadie Sink isn't playing some random new character. She's Jean Grey. I did not expect Marvel to introduce one of the X-Men like this. And once she arrives, the movie completely changes. Instead of feeling like a grounded Spider-Man story, it suddenly becomes much larger. Psychic powers, mind controls, mutants. The MCU starts opening another door entirely. This is probably where the opinions are going to split. Because while I really like Jean Grey, I also started feeling like Spider-Man wasn't the main character anymore. The focus slowly shifts towards her story, her past, her sister, her revenge. And while all of that is interesting, I kept wanting the movie to return to Peter. Spider-Man has one of the richest supporting casts in all of Marvel, so when another franchise started taking over such a large portion of this movie, it felt slightly unbalanced. That doesn't make it bad. I just think that Peter's emotional journey deserved even more attention. Interestingly, that's something I've already seen other people saying after the early screenings, that Jean Grey's story sometimes overshadows Peter's own arc. But this is where the movie really shines, is whenever Peter comes close to MJ and Ned. These scenes hurt, because we know everything they've forgotten. Peter remembers years of friendship, they remember absolutely nothing. Watching Peter stand only a few feet away from people who once would have died for him is honestly heartbreaking. Tom Holland sells every single one of these moments. He barely has to say anything. His face does all the work. Those quieter scenes ended up being some of my favorites. Eventually everything comes together. Jean's motivations become clear. Damage control is exposed. Peter has to stop a situation that's spiraling completely out of control. The action is fantastic. Spider-Man gets punished harder than we've ever seen in years. His changing powers become both an advantage and a weakness. The movie also delivers some huge surprises involving Hulk, Punisher, and the escalating conflict around Jean Grey before Peter finally helps stop the crisis. The ending is really bittersweet. Peter finally reconnects with MJ. Well, sort of. She begins remembering pieces. She understands enough to know that this stranger once meant something, but she doesn't magically fall back in love. And honestly, I respected that. It would have been easy for Marvel to completely undo No Way Home. Instead, they let the consequences remain. Peter still pays the price. It's painful, but it feels earned. Ned also hints that fragments of his memories may be returning, leaving the door open without fully reversing the spell. Then comes the post-credit scenes. Spider-Man's location suddenly appears, not on Earth, but in space. Marvel clearly isn't finished with Peter, whether this leads into Avengers, Secret Wars, Venom, or something even bigger. This feels like the beginning of the next chapter rather than the end of this one. Overall, I really enjoyed Spider-Man Brand New Day. It finally gives us the independent Spider-Man that many fans have wanted for years. Tom Holland delivers one of the strongest performances because he's allowed to carry the emotional weight himself. The action is exciting, the emotional scenes land, the ending respects the sacrifices made in No Way Home. My biggest criticism is simply that the movie occasionally loses focus by spending so much time setting up Marvel's future. Whenever Peter Parker is at the center of the story, the movie is fantastic. Whenever it starts feeling like it's introducing the next era of the MCU, it loses its momentum. Even so, I walked out feeling excited about where Spider-Man goes next. For me, this is one of Tom Holland's strongest Spider-Man movies, even if I don't think it quite surpasses Spider-Man No Way Home. I'd give Spider-Man Brand New Day a solid 8.5 out of 10, but that's just my opinion. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or do you think Marvel should have kept this a smaller, street-level Spider-Man story? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.